Hello and welcome to Target UPSC Prelims MCQ series for 2024, and the subject today is economy, and this is the ninth and the last episode of economy MCQs. So let's begin. First, which of these cities is not likely to traverse during a road trip through India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway? Mysore, Mandalay, Temu, More. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 and 4 only, 2, 3 and 4 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, none of the above. The correct answer here is option D, that is none of the above. And the question is asking about not likely to traverse. It means all four will come in between. So let's see. The India-Myanmar Thailand trilateral highway, which is 1360 kilometers long, it is a joint initiative of India, Myanmar and Thailand. So these three countries are involved, India, Myanmar and Thailand, which will connect More in India with Mysore in Thailand. So starting and last point is More India to Mysore Thailand via Tamu, Kalewa, Yargi, Munirwa, Mandalay, Bainatgi and Kapkarek in Myanmar. Therefore, all these four options, they are part of it. So therefore the answer becomes D, that is none of the above. And the highway is projected to increase the trade and commerce in the ASEAN-India Free Trade Area and with the rest of Southeast Asia, and further stimulating the movement of goods and people, creating jobs, promoting tourism as well as raising the livelihoods in the region. Therefore option D is the correct answer. Next, which one of the following would be considered as foreign direct investment, that is FDI? A foreign company buying shares in stock exchanges in India, a foreign country pension fund investing in Indian stock market, a foreign merchant banker buying shares from Indian stock markets, a foreign entity setting up an educational institution in India. Correct answer is option D, that is a foreign entity setting up an educational institution in India. So it is a foreign entity who is setting up an educational institution in India. So FDI can be defined as an investment which is made by a company or an individual. So any of it can do it, of one country into the business opportunities and interest located in another country. It is different from FPI. In FPI, the foreign entity only buys the equity shares of a country. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next. If another global financial crisis happens in the near future, which of the following action or policies are most likely to give some immunity to India? Some immunity to India. First, not depending on short-term foreign borrowings. 2. Opening up to more foreign banks. 3. Maintaining full capital account convertibility. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Correct answer here is option A, that is 1 only, which is not depending on short-term foreign borrowings, while second and third, which is opening up to more foreign banks and maintaining full capital account convertibility. Therefore, foreign debt is money borrowed by a government, corporation or private household from another country's government or private lenders. So, one country's government borrowing money from another country's or private lender. Total foreign debt can be a combination of short-term and long-term liabilities. So, it can be both short-term and long-term. In comparison to long-term foreign debt, short-term foreign debts are more volatile and can cause liquidity crunch in the times of global crisis. Therefore, not depending on short-term foreign borrowings can certainly give some immunity to India in times of global crisis. Therefore, first is correct. Foreign banks have been instrumental in introducing Indian customers to ATMs and credit cards. With Indian firms increasingly looking for investments overseas, foreign banks can play a critical role in raising money for them. connecting them with a global client and consumers. Therefore, however, FPI today are the biggest shareholders of many foreign banks, meaning in the event of global crisis, the FPIs will withdraw their money and park it somewhere else, thus creating volatility and a cash crunch in the market. Therefore, 2 is not correct. And this many a times remains in news also. If we talk about capital account convertibility, so it is the freedom of foreign investors to purchase Indian assets as equity bond property and that of the domestic citizens to purchase foreign financial assets. Some of the disadvantages of full capital account convertibility include higher volatility, increased burden of foreign debt, and an effect on the balance of trade and exports. Thus, allowing full capital account convertibility will disturb the economy in the times of global crisis. Therefore, 3 is not correct. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. That is 1 only. 2 and 3 are incorrect. Next, consider the following statements. First, purchasing power parity, exchange rates are calculated by comparing the prices of the same basket of goods and services in different countries. Second, in terms of PPP dollars, India is the sixth largest economy in the world. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Correct answer is option A, that is 1 only. So first is correct, second is incorrect. Let's see. Due to some considerable differences in price levels across economies, market exchange rate converted GDP does not accurately measure the relative sizes of the economies and the levels of material well-being. On the other hand, PPP, which is the purchasing power parity, it makes it possible to compare the output of economies and the welfare of their inhabitants in real terms. It actually tells us whether we have the purchasing power parity or not, that at what amount the things can be bought in different countries. PPP is an economic theory that compares different countries' currencies through a basket of goods approach. According to this concept, when two currencies are in equilibrium, known as the currencies being at par, when a basket of goods is priced the same in both countries, taking into account the exchange rates. Every 3 years, the World Bank releases a report that compares various countries in terms of PPP and US dollars. Therefore, first is correct. That is, purchasing power parity exchange rates are calculated by comparing the prices of the same basket of goods and services in different countries. In terms of PPP dollars, China is the largest economy in the world, followed by United States, and India is at third position. It is talking about PPP dollars. Therefore, second is not correct. In terms of PPP dollars, India is the sixth largest economy in the world, while India is the third largest. Therefore, the correct answer is option A. Next, which of the following best describes the term import cover, sometimes seen in the news? Import cover. It is the ratio of value of imports to the GDP of a country. So, value of import to the GDP of a country. Second, it is the total value of imports of a country in a year. Third, it is the ratio between the value of exports and that of imports between two countries. So, export and import. It is the number of months of imports that could be paid for by a country's international reserves. Correct answer is option D. It is the number of months of imports that could be paid for by a country's international reserves. So, import cover is a concept of economics which deals with the stability of a country's economy in dealing with the foreign trade and balance of payment. It entails with countries' international reserves, which is adequate as a hedge against a crisis to meet the payment for import bills. So, if there is any kind of financial crisis taking place, then the international reserves works in favor of our country because it can protect the country so that the country can pay the import bills. In simple terms, it can be said to mean the number of months of import that could be paid for by a country's international reserves. Next, which of the following is or are the examples of transfer payments? Transfer payments: unemployment allowance, payment of salary, social security payments, old age pension. Select the correct answer using the code given below. 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, 1, 3 and 4 only, none of the above. Correct answer is option C. 1, 3 and 4. So unemployment allowance, social security payment and old age pension are part of it, while payment of salary is not. Transfer payments. Transfer payments are receipts which the residents of a country receive for free without having to make any present or future payments in return. So a person does not have to pay for it. They consist of remittances, gifts and grants. They could be official or private. Official, like for example subsidy. Example of transfer payments include unemployment allowance, social security payment, old age pension and all others. Payment of salary is a person does not get it for free. Next, the balance of payment of a country is a systematic record of all import and export transactions of a country during a given period of time, normally a year. Import and export transactions. Goods exported from a country during a year. Economic transaction between the government of one country to another. Capital movements from one country to another. Correct answer is option A. That is all import and export transactions of a country during a given period of time, which is normally a year. Balance of payment is a statement of all transactions made between entities in one country and the rest of the world over a defined period of time, such as a quarter or a year. The balance of payment, also known as balance of international payments, summarizes all transactions. So it summarizes all transactions that a country's individuals, companies and government bodies complete with individuals, companies and government bodies outside the country. So from one country to another country. Therefore option A is the correct answer. Next, which of the following forms the part of the Bretton Woods system? Bretton Woods system. International Monetary Fund and the World Trade Organization, World Trade Organization and the World Bank, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development and International Development Association, International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Correct answer is option D. That is IMF, which is International Monetary Fund, and WB, which is World Bank. Let's see. The Bretton Woods institutions constitute the World Bank and the IMF. They were set up in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire in the US in 1944. They aimed to help rebuild the shattered post-war economy and to promote international economic cooperation. So after the Second World War, all the economies of the world was shattered. So to rebuild those economies, Bretton Woods institutions were set up. Original Bretton Woods Agreement included the plans for an international trade organization, but those were dormant until the World Trade Organization was created in 1990s. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next, which of the following is not a characteristic of globalization? Fragility of national barriers for the flow of capital and goods, rapid flow of information, capital and goods, network of cultural, economic and political relations, global infrastructure of formal and informal institutional arrangements. Correct answer is option D. That is global infrastructure of formal and informal institutional arrangement. So this is not a characteristic, all three are characteristics. Globalization is a geopolitical concept in which the countries, people and organizations come together to interact with each other for their respective purposes. Process of globalization is driven by international geopolitical scenarios, economics, environmental factors, trade relation, flow of information and technology. Main characteristics are free movement of goods and services without national barriers, rapid flow of information and technology from one part of the world to another, international network of cultural, political and economic relations, increased transfer of capital and investments in the form of FDI and FII, development and marketing of global brands and expansion of MNCs, which is multinational companies, distribution of labor in the form of migrants in international markets and outsourcing of works, making the world economy more interdependent, and it leads to interaction between the global institutions. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next, Washington Consensus includes abolition of government interventions, privatization of state-owned companies, ensuring macroeconomic stability. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 2 only, 1, 2 and 3. Correct answer is option B, that is 2 and 3 only. 2 and 3 only. First is not part. So Washington Consensus is the set of 10 neoliberal economic prescriptions made by the Washington DC based institutions, International Monetary Fund, the World Bank and the US Treasury to the developing countries that faced economic crisis. So this is for the developing countries who was going through an economic crisis. The prescriptions under Washington Consensus include the areas such as macroeconomic stabilization, economic opening with respect to both trade and investment, the expansion of market forces within the domestic economy, fiscal discipline, redirecting public expenditure, tax reform, financial liberalization, adoption of a single competitive exchange rate, trade liberalization, elimination of barriers to FDI, privatization of state-owned enterprises, deregulation of market entry and competition, secure property rights. Therefore, first is not correct and 2 and 3 are correct. So, first is not correct. Privatization of state-owned companies, yes. Ensuring macroeconomic stability, yes. Abolition of government interventions is not there. So, this is about Washington Consensus of 1990. Stabilize, privatize and liberalize. So, that is privatization, trade liberalization, public expenditure, secure property rights, deregulation, fiscal discipline, openness, tax reform, financial liberalization, unified and competitive exchange rates. And in the end, this is the practice question. And like always, you people will give us the answer in the comment section. So the question is, information used in a business generally unknown to the public that the company has taken strong measures to keep confidential is called. Information used in a business generally unknown to the public, company has taken strong measures to keep confidential is called a patent, a copyright, a trade secret or a trademark. So out of these four, which one is the correct answer? Tell us in the comment section. And that's all for today. This was the last episode of Economy MCQ. Thank you so much for watching. So till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.